Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Shifting Sands. And that is because there are some things, particularly our feelings and our emotions, that can be shifting right now. And that is because tomorrow we are having the third eclipse in this trio of eclipses that signify a triple eclipse in the year 2016. And in years when there are triple eclipses, in other words, one eclipse every 2 weeks for 3 times in a row, it simply means there can be great social unrest and change. And that has been what's been occurring this year, and it's going to continue. And so tomorrow is the third eclipse, and it is occurring at 24 degrees of Pisces. Pisces rules the traditional 12th house of hidden enemies, and it is a mutable, double-bodied water sign. All of the water signs rule healing, and they do rule our emotions, so that's what can be shifting. And this particular lunar eclipse is unfortified. It's not being backed up by anything. There aren't any planets in any of the other water signs, so it's sort of on its own. And Pisces rules is the sign of the 2 fish. One of the fish is looking as if it's leaping toward heaven, trying to aim for its highest ambitions, and the other fish is sort of diving down deep into the murky water to see what's around. And so we say that since it's a double-bodied sign, it can rule the heights and the depths of a lot of different things. And that is what we can see so clearly under the lunar eclipse tomorrow, because there are 2 planets in Pisces. Not only is the full moon there, but Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is there as well. So there's quite an emphasis on everything that Pisces rules. And so Pisces is a sign that not only rules healing, but it rules creativity, it rules forgiveness and charity, and conversely, it can also rule hidden enemies, deceptions, and omissions. It can rule cover-ups, or it can rule some sort of abuse that occurs behind the scenes, and it can rule self-destruction. It certainly does rule how you kid yourself about things. And so it can also rule alcoholism, drug addiction, and sexual promiscuity. Pisces also rules, since it's a very creative sign, it rules photography, and it rules dance, because Pisces rules the feet. And it also rules the pharmaceutical industry, and it rules the oil and gas business, and it rules escape. And what could you want to be escaping from? Well, Pisces rules all areas of confinement. And so it rules hospitals, and it rules prisons, and jails and sanitariums, and it also rules concentration camps. And if there is a particularly harsh aspect to Pisces in a person's chart, or to the ruler of the sign Neptune, that can even indicate insanity or suicide. So all of those things are emphasized right now in one way or another. And because the full moon is at 24 degrees tomorrow, and it is a lunar eclipse, it is exactly behind another planet, or there's another planet right in front of it, and it is Uranus, the planet of sudden change in Aries, which is also at 24 degrees. And so that means that we should expect the unexpected under this lunar eclipse. And so, Uranus rules surprise, sometimes shocking surprise. And it also rules eccentricity and things ahead of their time, and it rules music and aviation and space and computers and electricity. And so it's in the sign of new beginnings, Aries. So I do advise you to expect the unexpected under this lunar eclipse, because it is very harshly aspected. Not only is there no fortification to the sign of Pisces, but there are 6 planets in mutable signs that are all in very harsh aspect. So the Sun and Mercury in Virgo, a fact-finding, detailed, practical, problem-solving Earth sign, are both opposing the lunar eclipse full moon in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. And so that simply means that people that want to be logical and factual and want to rely on proven facts right now, particularly facts related to the things that Virgo rules, such as your work, your health, or your health habits, and performance issues, those people want to stand on the evidence. They want to stick to the facts, but they are coming up against people that are represented by the lunar eclipse tomorrow in Pisces with the Moon and Neptune there, and those are two very inspirational planets. And remember, Pisces does rule dreams as well as creativity. And so there are some people that really want to kid themselves about the facts. They don't want to face them at all. And they can be aspiring to their highest dreams. And so they don't want to talk the proof of anything. They want to sort of keep going and be creative. So these two types of way of communication or ways of looking at things are really at odds with each other right now. And to compound the problem, both Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius are squaring the two factual planets in Virgo, and they are also squaring the full moon and Neptune in Pisces. What does that mean? It simply means that there can be some fiercely stubborn and competitive people who are in angry denial about the facts or the truth. They are simply have their own version of it, and it doesn't agree with the actual proof or evidence of something. And at the same time that they're angry about the facts, they are perhaps trying to be so fiercely and stubbornly competitive that they can be trying to exploit people, particularly the poor and the oppressed. And so there's a lot going on right now, and there are a whole lot of people in different groups that are not very happy with each other, and that can be seen. Pisces rules hidden things, but there's a lot of light in Pisces. The moon's in Pisces right now, and tomorrow, of course, it will be full at 24 degrees. So that is why there can be shifting sands, because a lot of people have different outlooks right now, and that can be causing a lot of confusion and indecision. And yet, I think that there is change going on as well. And that's because the sands really are shifting. And when I refer to sands, what I mean is that slow progression of change in our emotions or our feelings. Remember, the full moon is in Pisces, and Pisces is a water sign which rules our feelings. So what I think could happen now, particularly with 4 retrograde planets, is that if there is a change in management or in policies and procedures, that change could precipitate something rather unexpected, because there could be a cancellation of a new start right now. Some new start could start suddenly, but it could also backfire. And that could make changes all around, and the sands shift or change our feelings about things. There is also the possibility that there can be a break in some sort of unique partnership right now, and that is because Uranus in Aries is being opposed by both Jupiter and Venus, which are in Libra right now, and Pluto is squaring Uranus and Jupiter in Venus as well. So there's a T-cross in mutable signs and another T-cross in cardinal signs, and that's why the sands can be shifting. But there also could be a partnership that can be, not only there can be a breakup in a partnership, but there could be a public announcement about a partnership which had existed for quite a long while in private. But now there can be some sort of public revelation about that. And just as somebody can have a very strong stranglehold of desperation and greed on people who are poor or who are hopeless or who are war-weary right now, that oppression that they are experiencing could be squeezed so tightly that something could burst open right now. And what I think that bursting of anguish is that even in the hearts of a lot of people who are oppressed or who are poor or hopeless or who are war weary, and that includes a lot of people in this world, I think that there can be a secret yearning right now, even in their oppression, for peace and love. And that is what is making the sands shift right now, is that no matter how miserable people are, love is eternal, and nothing in the world can extinguish the enduring power of love. And for that reason, with both Jupiter and Venus, the planet of love, and Jupiter, the planet of goodness, in Libra, the sign of love and peace and marriage and compromise and harmony and balance, I know that in the souls of young people and of people who are young at heart throughout the world, there is a secret yearning now for love and peace. And that is why the sands are shifting right now, because you can't keep a stranglehold of desperation and greed on people forever, because the more you strangle, the greater the pressure is, and sooner or later love will burst out, or the yearning for it will burst out, and things will have to change. And that's what I think is at the bottom of this triple eclipse in 2016. We've reached a point now where things can't remain hidden, or they can't be covered up. We have to deal with our basic human needs, no matter what our station in life is. And the basic need for every heart and soul is for love and understanding. And that's what I think is making the sands shift in favor of peace now. At least I hope so. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, remember I said that Uranus is in your sign, and it is at 24 degrees, which is the exact degree of the full moon in Pisces right behind your sign. And so I think that since there's so much light in the background of your life, Aries, I think you particularly need to prepare for the unexpected. Now, it's pretty hard to prepare for something that you don't see coming at you, but I do think something quite sudden is going to change in your life. And it might be due to all the light that is now exposing what's going on in the background of your life, Aries. It can be that there is something, if you've been hiding anything, that could be exposed by all the light in Pisces tomorrow. Or it can simply be that you have a secret yearning for something other than what you're doing right now, and that could be illuminated instead. So I think that there is something unexpected that is going to occur, and it could have something to do with a partnership. And the reason why is that Jupiter and Venus and Libra are opposing Uranus in your sign. And so I think there is the possibility that a contract could be canceled. Libra rules contracts. Or it can be that a very, very nice partner is departing or has decided to leave your life or your sphere of influence, Aries. Or it can be you that's deciding to move on. So I think that there is something unexpected coming. Whenever it occurs, Aries, I guarantee you it will be really fast. And so might take you by surprise, or it might take your breath away, but it is inevitable. And so you need to expect the unexpected. It's coming right up. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is simply a time without any planets in the fixed signs, when there's nothing challenging you, or Leo, or Scorpio, or Aquarius. And I think that since the full moon lunar eclipse tomorrow is sextiling your sun, Taurus, it simply means that you may have the opportunity to be very charitable towards someone or to help somebody out. And that could be through a better understanding and having more compassion toward people. Yours is a real business sign. And yet, with the Sun and Mercury in Virgo trining your Sun, and Pluto in Capricorn also trining your Sun, I think you've got your business and investment and long-term interests pretty pretty well done. And you can be quite satisfied even with the improvements you've made in your health. So I think that you're doing okay, Taurus, and this lunar eclipse can denote a chance for you to help somebody along right now and sort of do the right thing. And I think that that would please you as well. So there is opportunity. The lunar eclipse tomorrow sextiles your sun, and the solar eclipse in Virgo 2 weeks ago trined your sun. You are sitting pretty right now, Taurus, and so perhaps it's a little, this is an optimum time to sort of spread good cheer around if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is simply a time when I think that you do have to have your guard up, because there are 6 planets all harshly squaring and opposing your sun sign, because they're immutable signs, and that includes the lights. So the sun and Mercury in Virgo are squaring your sun, which means that you need to concentrate a little bit more on factual proof and evidence and really mind your health right now. Try to be as healthy as you can. And also the full moon lunar eclipse and Neptune in Pisces are squaring your sun, which means there can be a change. Under a lunar eclipse, since the moon rules women, we always say that one woman goes and another woman comes. Well, that could happen in your life, Gemini, not simultaneously. I think it'll happen, one thing will happen and then another, sometime over the 6-month period that this eclipse is in effect. But also, I think that you have to know who to trust. And for that reason, you do have to look at some sort of evidence or proof of somebody's goodwill right now. And the reason why is that someone could be pretending to be a victim when actually they are the perpetrator of something instead. And it could be even a crime or some sort of falsehood. So you have to be a little bit careful about who you trust, or maybe really careful about that right now, as well as your health and your health records. And then Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius are opposing your sun, which means that fiercely stubborn and competitive people can really want to come at you right now. And you're used to that, Gemini. These aspects have been in place for a long time. They haven't been so potent, though. In other words, there was a solar eclipse in Virgo, and now there's a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and both of them squared your sun sign. So you have been under duress, but luckily Jupiter and Venus are in Libra, and they are trining your sun, and that simply means you've got the law on your side, Gemini, and you've got some pretty wonderful people that are coming to your aid, which is good. And the last bit of good news is that Mars is going to leave Sagittarius. It will stop finally opposing your sun sign on the 27th of this month. And so there will be a lot of pressure that will be off you by the end of the month, which is good. You have that to look forward to. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, yours is a cardinal sign. And so I think you too should expect the unexpected. And the reason why is that Uranus in Aries is squaring your sun, and Venus and Jupiter in Libra are also squaring your sun. So something unexpected could occur in relation to a contract or a partnership matter, whether the partnership is romantic or business. There could be a sudden break in a partnership, or there can be something unexpected happening that you hadn't been counting on at all or just didn't see coming. And if it doesn't happen to you, it could happen around you, and that could throw you off balance a little bit. And then Pluto in Capricorn is opposing your sun. So there are 4 planets in cardinal signs, and they're all in harsh aspect to your sun, Cancer. And so that just means that you have to try to stay steady. I wouldn't do anything too volatile or too explosive right now, because it could happen around you, and I think you need to be standing on firm ground when something unexpected happens, so that you can keep your balance. The lunar eclipse in Pisces is going to trine your sun tomorrow, and that is good. What that means, with so much light in Pisces, is that you certainly will see something that had been hidden or something that had been concealed from you. And in fact, you could even see a lie, and that is because if you had been told that someone was not a good person, and it turns out through the illumination of this lunar eclipse that you see that they really are an angel instead, that could ease your mind and help you out a lot. And so you could get at the truth right now, or someone could help you get at the truth, and that would make you feel a lot better, Cancer. So in that respect, it's a very good lunar eclipse for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, there are no planets in any of the fixed signs, so there's nothing challenging you right now, Leo. And there are 4 wonderful planets right ahead of your sun sign. The Sun and Mercury in Virgo are ahead of your sun, and that means that you really should concentrate on the details of a work performance issue or of your health. And really watch that closely right now and aim for making modest gains instead of big flashy ones. And then Venus and Jupiter are in Libra right ahead of your sun sign as well. So all 4 of these planets sextile your sun, Leo, which is wonderful for you because it could give you partnership opportunities. It could give you the opportunity for better terms in a contract, which would be good. And so, you know, if you wanted to aim a little higher right now, that would be fine. But still, I don't think you should sort of go all out for anything right now, because yes, there are 3 dynamic and malefic planets trining your sun sign, but their forceful energy and their competitiveness could make you go too far, Leo. Because they're malefic planets. So I would say stick with the ones that are more modest but very loving, because those are the planets that will make you happy. Concentrate on love, partnership, and something that gives you a modest sense of satisfaction, because that could last you longer in the end. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when I think that you are sorely challenged, because there are not a lot of people that are understanding you right now. And that's because you do have good answers and you are very logical in your problem-solving skills, and that's wonderful. But the lunar eclipse tomorrow in Pisces, along with Neptune there, is opposing your sun sign. And that means, first of all, since there's so much light in Pisces, that you could find out something that had been concealed from you, and it could be a jarring truth. And so, you know, that could be an eye-opener for you, and it might bring you a little bit of disillusionment as well, sort of depending on what that truth is that is revealed. And then you can be very, very frustrated because somebody wants to just go off and follow their dream, and you want them to be much more practical. And it's not going to work right now, Virgo. You may as well save your breath. And so this is a better time for you to be alone. Virgos like their solitude. And this is a time by withdrawing and just concentrating on the problems that you do love to solve that you can do on your own. It will probably make you much happier, and that will be stress-free, Virgo, and that's what you need. You need something stress-free right now, because Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius are also squaring your sun, and that means there can be some fiercely competitive and stubborn people that can be challenging you, and that can cause you a lot of stress. That's why I think you should withdraw right now, because nobody's listening to you and they're not even on your same wavelength. So forget it. You know, timing is everything. Well, this is not the time for you to go forward, Virgo. This is the time for you to maintain peace and quiet and to seek your solitude, because that will make you happy. And you owe it to yourself. So withdraw if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, lucky you. Both Venus and Jupiter are in your sun sign, which is just fantastic. And even though they are both opposing Uranus in Aries and are being squared by Pluto in Capricorn, you couldn't get 2 better planets in your sun sign if you tried, and Venus is the ruler of your sign. So Libra, I think that you too should expect the unexpected, but you could be delighted by it. And even if there was a break in a partnership, or if there is some sort of change in a contract, or even a change in management and procedures and policies, no matter what happens or what surprises you are about to encounter, Libra, I think you are going to be at your very best. In other words, I don't think anything's going to knock you over, even if it is challenging, because right now, Libra, you can be seen at your best. You can be more charming than you've ever been in your life. And by being pleasant and charming, I think that you can handle anything right now. So congratulations. Make the most of these two wonderful planets in your sun sign, because Jupiter will stay for a year, but Venus is going to leave. And so this is when you should be out really trying to charm everybody right now, and try to be seen a lot right now, Libra, because you're going to attract very nice people to you. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, yours is a fixed sign, and there's nothing in fixed sign, so there's nothing challenging you right now. But I do have a word of caution for you. First of all, the lunar eclipse in Pisces tomorrow with Neptune there is trining your sun. So you are going to be able to learn the truth about something and that truth had been concealed or covered up in some way. But there's so much light in Pisces, it won't remain covered up. And by learning the truth, that can help you achieve some sense of justice, which is very important to you because your sign does rule justice, which is fine. But also, I want to give you a word of caution, and that is because it would be just like you in your quest for justice to perhaps step into something that is quite controversial right now, and I urge you not to do that. And the reason why is that Mars and Saturn are in Sagittarius right ahead of your sun sign, and so you would be stepping into a very muddy, murky, somewhat cruel situation. And I don't think you'd come out the winner, Scorpio. And you don't have to do that. There isn't anything challenging your sun sign. And for that reason, I think that you should try to be as quiet as you can. It doesn't mean you have to withdraw, but I would not act hastily right now about anything, Scorpio, because you've got two very malefic planets in harsh aspect to this eclipse right ahead of your sun sign. So don't step into quicksand right now, because you would sink. You may not survive. So try to be as quiet as you can right now, and you can seek justice, but don't do it outwardly too much right now, because there's trouble ahead of you if you try that. Just wait a while. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces tomorrow with Neptune there squares your sun where you have Mars and Saturn, and the sun and Mercury in Virgo also square your sun. So your sun sign is taking a beating from the lights. It's the sun and the moon that are both squaring your sun, leading to indecision and confusion right now. And so that is not good for you, Sagittarius. You could find yourself caught between a rock and a hard place right now and not know which way to go. Should you follow your dreams, or should you concentrate on facts and figures, neither of which you want to do completely? I would say try to enlist the help of people who are very fair-minded right now, because luckily for you, Sagittarius, Jupiter and Venus are both in Libra, and they sextile your sun. So you can find people who can come to your aid, who want to be good and happy partners of yours. Those people are around. You might have to look a little hard for them, but they're there. And that is what you need. You need the law on your side, Sagittarius, because you have been embroiled in some sort of controversy or conflict for most of this year. And I'm sure it's just wearing you out. But Mars is going to move out of your sign on the 27th, and that will give you some relief. And Jupiter will be sextiling your sun for a whole year. So things are about to look up for you, Sagittarius, and that is why I urge you to go and let the sand shift in your feelings and get away from animosity and resentment and frustration and look around for more loving partners, because they're there. And that's who you need. You need to invite some nice people into your life right now, Sagittarius, because they'll be glad to help you. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is simply a time when I think that you can take advantage of the lunar eclipse in Pisces, because it sextiles your sun, and there's a lot of light in Pisces. under the lunar eclipse tomorrow. And so you could perhaps see a way to learn more truth about people, or discover what had been hidden or covered up. And you may have compassion about that, or know what to do about that, or you could be more forgiving or charitable right now, and that would be just great. So the lunar eclipse is sextile your sun, and the solar eclipse 2 weeks ago was trining your sun. So I think that you are in a sort of a softer and gentler place right now, Capricorn. And yes, you can rely on facts and figures, but you can add some compassion to your understanding of others right now, and maybe even a little forgiveness. And I think that you can mend some fences right now, and that I think would make you happy. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is simply a time when I think that you can certainly benefit by wonderful partners headed your way, since Venus and Jupiter in Libra are trining your sun. And even if there is something unexpected that could occur, I think that you can benefit from that right now, Aquarius, because there's nothing in the fixed signs squaring or opposing your sun sign. And there is harmony, there is perhaps a better contract, or there is just better partnerships that can come to you right now. And that is what you should go for, Aquarius. Aquarius is a fixed sign. They like to do things their own way, and they're usually ahead of their time. But you need partners in order to get somewhere. You can't do it all by yourself, Aquarius. So this is a wonderful time, even if there is something unexpected about to happen, that you can find better partners if you want to. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, the full moon lunar eclipse tomorrow is in your sun sign, and it is harshly aspected by a T-cross with 6 planets squaring and opposing it. And so I think, Pisces, with so much light in your sign, remember the full moon and Neptune are there, that you could rise to your highest good right now, despite people that want to drag you down or compete with you in one way or another. So as long as you are willing to face facts about your work, your health, and your health habits, and some sort of performance issue, and you are willing to accept commentary from other people or an assessment about all of that, you can then go ahead and be enlightened by that information, and you can aim for your highest good. You might have to leave a few people behind in order to do that. You would also be wise not to engage in fierce competition with other people right now, because I don't think you really need to, and it's not your nature anyway. Pisces is a very understanding sign. And so Pisces, with so much light in your sign tomorrow, it's simply God's way of saying that you need to take a time out and try to understand yourself a little better, because the sands are shifting. And our hearts are longing for peace and love and partnership. And all of that, you know, it may not make the whole world go round, but you cannot extinguish the enduring power of love. And so it's time now for you to love yourself, Pisces, and to understand yourself better. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org.